It is humbling and inspiring at the same time to be here and to be with such an esteemed group. Dr. Smith, I should acknowledge as well, Dean Connor, Chair of the Board, Dr. Smith, Kevin, and the entire University Health Network team, thank you for your service and the care that you provide to so many Canadians every day. Let's put this in context. Yeah. And for those of us who had the privilege of going around the exhibits, it's not just the service, but it's the innovation. Everything that I saw didn't exist 5 years ago, but is transformative today and going forward. And think about it, Toronto General, this broader network, 700,000 people are treated a year using a precious combination of empathy, compassion, and world-class expertise and cutting-edge technologies. All of those aspects are present. The world's first single and double lung transplant happened here. The first external heart pacemaker, the first use of insulin, all happened right here. That's what's possible when good people harness new technologies and deploy them with the right purpose. And that's what we must do today on a much broader scale, but at the same human level. Because artificial intelligence, the defining technology of our era, is here. In his recent encyclical, Pope Leo warned that the scale and speed at which AI is developing, and I quote, "Never has humanity had such power over itself," and he set the challenge of whether we would use that power for the common good. The question isn't whether AI will transform our lives, it will. AI is already changing how we work, how we learn, and how we connect. The question is, will it improve the lives of all Canadians or benefit only a few? And that's why we must take a positive, pragmatic, and prudent approach that builds safe, reliable, and sovereign AI for workers and businesses, for Canada, and for our allies. Les Canadiens ont contribué à inventer l'IA moderne. Les idées fondamentales qui constituent les systèmes d'aujourd'hui passent par les chercheurs canadiens Jeffrey Hinton, Joshua Bengio, and Richard Sutton. Cet héritage se poursuit grâce à des universités de calibre mondial, à 3 instituts nationaux d'IA, Mila à Montréal, AMI à Edmonton et le Vector Institute à quelques pâtés de maisons ici, ainsi qu'à plus de 3,500 entreprises d'IA partout au pays. Au Canada, nous comptons 150 000 emplois directement liés à l'IA et plus de 800 000 emplois dans le secteur plus large des technologies numériques. C'est le secteur qui connaît la croissance la plus rapide au Canada. Au cours de la dernière décennie seulement, l'IA a contribué à hauteur de 140 milliards de dollars à l'économie canadienne. Now, as this technological revolution gathers pace, Canada has many of the attributes to help lead it. We're an energy superpower. We're committed to doubling our electricity grid, building on the lowest cost power in the G7 and the second lowest emission power in the broader OECD. We have the most educated population in the world, including experts with deep expertise in AI, robotics, and quantum. We're a pluralistic society that works. We're a stable, reliable partner in a world that is anything but. But first, we have to be honest about the risks that AI poses to Canadians and the challenges that Canada faces. Deep fakes, unsafe chatbots, AI-generated disinformation are becoming more prevalent. The privacy of Canadians is under threat. Globally, Canada ranks near the bottom of countries in AI training, in literacy, and trust. Only 12% of Canadian businesses are using AI today. Among small and medium-sized businesses, adoption is even lower. And we are highly dependent on foreign suppliers for the infrastructure that powers AI, from compute to cloud to data storage. That creates real risks that foreign entities could access Canadian data, deploy AI products that shape Canadian lives without reflecting our values, and tilt the playing field against Canadian firms, while Canada lacks the leverage to push back or the ability to control. It also creates the risk that, as with other forms of integration, from financial payments to supply chains, AI could be weaponized against us. Pour faire en sorte que l'IA profite à chaque Canadien, nous avons besoin d'une approche qui rejoint chaque Canadien. Nous avons besoin d'une stratégie qui aide nos travailleurs et nos entreprises à adopter l'IA, à soutenir la concurrence à l'échelle mondiale. Une stratégie qui garantit aux Canadiens de choix canadiens dans les outils d'IA qu'ils utilisent, et une stratégie qui repose sur des bases de confiance et de sécurité. We need a strategy that not only addresses these challenges, but also builds on ways in which Canadian businesses are using AI. I'll give some examples. In Halifax, Dr. Robert Chen and his team at Cardio Diagnostique are using AI to screen heart murmurs in infants, leading to lower unnecessary referrals and shorter wait times. In Saskatoon, the Canadian company Croptomistic is using AI to transform soil mapping, so there's less fertilizer that's used. In Peterborough, AI-powered traffic lights are reducing congestion, 40% fewer vehicle delays, 20% fewer emissions. Prosperity and sovereignty in the age of AI belong to those nations that can build, adopt, and govern AI on their own terms. Nations that encourage the deployment of AI to make the lives of their citizens better. And to that end, with Minister Solomon and colleagues, we're pleased to launch Canada's new AI for All strategy. That's AI governed by Canadian values, AI that is accountable to Canadians, AI that serves all Canadians. Our strategy has three guiding principles. The first is trust. We will protect your data, your privacy, and your children. Second, opportunity. We will empower Canadian workers, Canadian businesses, Canadian students with the tools to expand their knowledge, their expertise, and their futures. And finally, sovereignty. We will reinforce Canadian sovereignty so Canadians can make their own choices on how AI is built, governed, and used. Dans le monde virtuel, comme dans le monde physique, nous serons maîtres chez nous. La stratégie l'IA pour tous vise à générer 200 milliards de dollars supplémentaires de croissance économique. Cela pourrait se traduire par la création de 250 000 emplois liés à l'IA au cours des 5 prochaines années et faire passer le taux d'adoption de l'IA qui est aujourd'hui d'1 sur 10 à près de 2 tiers d'ici 2034. Au cours de cette stratégie, on trouve l'adoption. Pour que les Canadiens bénéficient de l'IA, chacun doit avoir la possibilité d'apprendre à l'utiliser. Et pour l'utiliser, l'IA, les Canadiens doivent pouvoir lui faire confiance. Avoir confiance que nos enfants seront protégés, que nos concitoyens seront respectés, que notre culture et nos langues seront non seulement préservées, mais renforcées, et que notre démocratie sera préservée elle-même. Canadians need to be able to develop the trust that AI will be governed in ways that reflect our values, to trust that they will share in its benefits. And for AI to benefit Canadians, it needs to create new opportunities for us and to be anchored in infrastructure that Canadians can control. Under our strategy, the government will introduce new legislation, regulations and standards to protect your data, your privacy, your children. We will modernize Canada's privacy laws and online safety legislation, ensuring that they are fit for an AI-driven world. We will expand Canada's AI Safety Institute with advanced research to evaluate AI models and to track emerging risks. We'll table consumer privacy legislation that ensures AI systems safeguard children's information from exploitation and harm, and we will make the development of cloud safety standards, child safety standards, a priority at next month's G7 summit in Evian. This month's G7 summit in Evian. We will also enshrine Canadians' fundamental right to privacy, including by creating protections against harmful practices such as deepfakes and surveillance pricing, so that technology doesn't outpace our ability to safeguard against technology ourselves. Second thing we will do, most exciting, and we see examples in this great research network, we will empower all Canadians with new opportunities to participate in and benefit from AI. So we're launching a national AI literacy initiative, offering training to all Canadians across the country in classrooms, workplaces, libraries, community centres. With free and trustworthy AI learning kits, including courses and modules, Canadians will better understand AI, be able to use it safely and confidently, and put it to work in their own lives. The approach will also help identify biases and misinformation and give Canadians the AI tools to learn and to help with their careers. As we adopt AI more broadly, there will be significant demands for Canadian workers who have the knowledge and the know-how to use this technology effectively. So a farmer who needs a manager with AI expertise to oversee exactly how much to plant, to water, to fertilize. The factory owner who needs an AI specialist to streamline machine data so the floor runs smoother and faster. To ensure that Canada is ready to meet that demand and to train up the next generation, we'll create over 90,000 AI-related job opportunities for young Canadians, including through the Student Work Placement Program, Canada's Summer Jobs, MyTax, and Skills for Success programs. We'll invest in training and upskilling for workers at every stage of their careers, from students to mid-career professionals to frontline workers. And we will ensure that every post-secondary student has access to trusted AI agents, whether they're in art schools or computer science labs, whether they're training to be electricians or carpenters, in order that our next generation has world-class, reliable tools on which to build and learn. We're going to use the Business Development Bank's LIFT program to help Canadian SMEs access financing to adopt AI tools in their operations. We're providing $500 million through the Regional AI Initiative to expand AI adoption, commercialization, and readiness across the country. And we'll expand affordable sovereign compute for Canadian small and medium-sized enterprises with an additional $700 million in the Compute Access Fund. So Canadian AI adoption will be prudent, pragmatic, and pro-worker. Il est essentiel que l'IA reflète l'identité, les valeurs et la culture canadienne. Et cela signifie renforcer la présence du français dans les systèmes de l'IA et en veillant à ce que les outils reflètent dans les deux langues officielles. Cela signifie de soutenir les initiatives sur l'IA dirigées par des autochtones, de protéger les langues et les connaissances autochtones et de permettre aux autochtones de déterminer la manière dont l'IA sera développée et utilisée. And the third part of our strategy is to ensure that Canada controls its AI sovereignty. Just in our defense industrial strategy, we will follow a build, partner, buy framework. So first, we will build in Canada and direct procurements for sovereign capabilities towards Canadian firms first. Where we can't build, we'll partner with like-minded allies to attract investment and to integrate supply chains. And only after exhausting these options will we buy from abroad. So starting with focusing on building in Canada, it's observed that Canada is one of only 4 countries in the world with a large language model. That means, amongst other things, that the data that Canadians share through their businesses and public services can be processed and governed within Canada under Canadian laws and standards. It safeguards our digital sovereignty and our national security. And with this foundation, Canada will build a world-leading public AI supercomputer, giving researchers and businesses access to secure, high-performance compute power for their greatest innovations. We'll also create a Canadian Tech Growth Fund, a $500 million vehicle to take equity stakes in high-potential AI firms, helping Canadian companies to succeed globally while remaining proudly Canadian. We will expand sovereign compute and cloud infrastructure, reducing our reliance on foreign providers. Now, today, let's be clear. Most of our data that's used in AI goes across our border or is governed by privacy regimes of other countries. And that's why, one of the reasons why we will back Canadian AI talent with nearly $350 million to expand our AI institutes in Montreal, here in Toronto, and Edmonton, to increase AI research, and to recruit the best talent from engineering and mathematics to health and agriculture. Now, as in the physical world, it's not just what we build, it's how we build. We'll build sustainably, linking new data center development with expanding clean energy and robust environmental standards. We'll build inclusively, in full partnership with Indigenous peoples. As I said, we'll support Indigenous-led AI research, leveraging programs from Canadian Heritage, the National Research Council, and industry partners like Mila. And we will build in solidarity with Canadian workers, unions, and post-secondary institutions. Where we can't build alone here in Canada, we'll partner with like-minded allies. In 1 year, Canada has secured 20 economic and security partnerships, 12 of which are in AI. One of those landmark initiatives is the Sovereign Technology Alliance, which will deepen our collaboration with trusted allies, starting with Germany, in order to share AI research, talent, investment, and infrastructure. We'll use our complementary strengths to build a dense web of partnerships from Europe, Asia, Australia, and the Middle East. Ce n'est qu'après avoir épuisé ces options que nous envisageons d'acheter à l'étranger. Et même dans ce cas, nous verrons à ce que les retombées maximales reviennent au Canada tout au long de la chaîne de valeur, notamment en tirant parti de la politique achetée canadienne pour soutenir l'essor des entreprises ici. The most crucial objective of our strategy is to ensure that AI works for Canadians. And that's why we're launching an AI missions program, which will take Canadian AI out of the lab and put it to work on real problems such as those we've just seen solved here at UHN. We will bring together companies, health systems, governments, community partners to move ambitious ideas into practical use faster. And our first mission, which is why we're here, is to deploy $200 million to improve healthcare with projects driven by the healthcare sector, but they could include reducing ER wait times, expanding access to primary care, reducing administrative burdens on physicians, caregivers, improving surgical methods. Nearly 3/4 of EU countries are already using AI-assisted diagnostics to support medical imaging and to detect disease. Et nous mettons au profit une technologie transformatrice pour améliorer la vie des Canadiens. Nous élargissons Vital, une plateforme canadienne de données de santé qui utilise l'IA pour relier des centaines de milliers de points de données hospitaliers, de l'imagerie aux dossiers médicaux et aux signes vitaux aux patients, afin de favoriser des percées dans la manière dont nous prédisons, prévenons et traitons les maladies. Et bientôt, nous nous tournerons vers des projets similaires dans le domaine de l'énergie, de l'agriculture et du transport. So let me close by recognizing, as Minister Solomon did, that too often AI is talked about, including by those who are developing it and building the infrastructure to support it, as if AI were the end in itself. Too seldom is it connected to people and for people. Our strategy, inspired by UHN, our strategy AI for All, is designed to put Canadians back in control, to build trust, to seize opportunities, and above all, to harness AI to improve lives and indeed to save them. Operating rooms just down the hall, surgeons are using AI-assisted imaging to identify arterial structures during complex procedures, gallbladders, arterial structures, lungs, beyond. You know, in one of the world's most demanding jobs, with the most highly trained, skilled specialists, AI is making them even better, even more precise, even more confident, all because of a tool that did not exist 5 years ago. With our new strategy, that's how we will help shape how we use AI, to ensure that in Canada, AI works for all Canadians all of the time. To build a Canada that's not just strong, not just intelligent, but good.